Hello everyone, this is Charles Victoria Frontier. This is going to be the Leo Cup guide. We're going to go talk about what you should be doing. This is going to be the general guide for Leo Cup. First of all, we're going to briefly go over the race course. This time around, it is Hanshin 2200 meters. It's turf, right-handed, firm, summer, sunny, right? So the key takeaways for this race course is that we pass the same uphill twice, but there is actually no downhills. All downhill skills will not be able to be activated. For example, Go Home Specialist, Gold Chips P5 unique skill, recovery skill is going to not activate. Another key point is that the end game, the late game starts right here. So the late game starts on the green line here. And so this green line is third corner, right in the middle of the corner 3. So for most of the excels that are in this CM here, the instant proc accelerations is only going to be Saiyan Sky and Saiyan Sky's angling and scheming, and also Major Orion's Let's Pump Some Iron. So after that, there is going to be an 83-meter delay until Maru Zensky's Redshift and also Taiki Shuttle's Shooting for Victory is going to proc. I'm going to talk about it in later on when we analyze the meta. But right now, I'm going to go over the stat lines that we should be bringing. This is going to be the stat line that most of you guys should be running. As Messi of UMA once said, you should be person first before being good person. Not having power equal no human. Not having wit equal not good human. Everyone should be bringing around 600 to 700 power. If we are going to have 1200 speed, when we reach 1200 speed, as long as you're clicking a lot of speed and you have at least 2 to 3 power sparks in your lineage, in your entire sparks lineage, in your parents, you should be able to reach 700 no problem as long as you max speed, right? Try to get at least 700 power. Wit is going to be secondary, except for frontrunners. In the case of frontrunners, I would hope that most of you can try to balance it out. Like, if you're getting 700 power, try to get also 700 wit. For frontrunners this time around, the stat pressure is quite high because, well, you need to get max speed, you need to get stamina, you need the gold recoveries, power, wit, everything, right? So this course is kind of difficult to get the target stats, but yeah, just do your best. Oh, and also regarding the medium S and also like the course speed modifier. So in this course, just like in Cancer Cup, for Cancer Cup, there was a course modifier of stamina and also guts. So 601, 301, right? That was the course modifier for Cancer Cup. This course, for Leo Cup, we have the speed modifier, which means that when you're at 901 speed or more, you're going to have an extra 10% added to your speed. So this means that max speed with the medium S is going to actually be worth 20%. So it is extra 20%, 1,440 speed. This is a lot, and so try your best to get medium S on most of your aces. So for frontrunners, yeah, I talked about it just now, we need more wit. But for paces, late surgers, and enclosers, this time around, I think that wit can also be useful for you, because I'm going to talk about the general environment later on. But for late surgers and enclosers, higher wit and also having more middle game skills is going to be beneficial this time, which is due to the meta itself. Yeah, later on we'll talk about it. So we're going to talk about the base kit. We're going to show off the base kit for everybody, right? This is the highest priority skills for the strategies. Your UMA should have these skills in your kit, no matter what UMA it is. So for example, if we swap out for Mihono Bourbon for frontrunners, you should still have like angling and scheming, groundwork set, 3 greens and groundwork, and also at least swinging maestro, right? Whether you go 1 gold recovery or 2 gold recovery is something that we'll talk about for frontrunners later on, because this is a different metagame in frontrunners. Among frontrunners, there's like a very interesting metagame this time around. This was the part where I highlighted in the members only video that you may have seen before. Right now it's I'm going to talk about it in this video, all right? So For frontrunners, at least 1 gold recovery, 850. This is about the stat line. And then, yeah, for pacers, you redshift shooting for victory, double gold recovery should be the default, right? There is a certain build, there's Guts Tachyon out there, I guess, but aside from Guts Tachyon, most pace chasers should be looking like this, at least. And higher weight is also going to be better. Late surges and enclosures this time around. Iron, shooting for victory, redshift. This feels and sounds just like Taurus because, yeah, it's just about these acceleration skills right now in the game. There really isn't that many alternatives yet. So, since it's 120-200 meters, yeah, these are going to be the acceleration skills. These are going to be the skills that you will want on your late surger by default, right? In the case of late surgers and enclosures, just try to get all three. From here on out, I'm going to be diving really deep into the meta. For this CM, for the people that are casuals, or if you're casual, if you don't really care about the CM, the simplest strategy for the CM is to actually recycle your Taurus aces, right? Your Taurus aces with like 1200, 800, 2 gold recovery skill, redshift, shooting for victory, that's going to be fine. Honestly, at most you lose some green skills, and also gold chip loses 1 gold recovery skill. But honestly, that's good enough. You will still be able to roll into a group. From here on out is going to be the meta-analysis. So if you have a different opinion, that's okay. This is just my take on the meta, right? So let's go. This time around, I want to take a bit to talk about the debuffers first, because this time we're back on the medium track, and so debuffers are back on the menu again. This time, a lot of emphasis is put on stamina debuffers. This is going to be my take on stamina debuffers, right? So data is from here from VF Cord. So if you want to see the data, you can go look at the description, right? So in the 100 room matches that he's done and recorded, there has been 207 murmured users, including his. He's using Nice Nature as well. And so there has been 74 procs out of like the 207 murmur users, and the murmur proc rate is going to be 35.7%. Mystifying Murmur is the one that can hit map wide. So Mystifying Murmur can, if procced, it can hit the entire map, including front to ends. It does not have a vision requirement. But then the proc rate of Murmur entirely depends on if the trigger is procced. Overall, I don't think a 30% proc rate is good enough to warrant people to bring 2 stamina debuffers, for example, like Nice Nature plus Minor Top Gun, right? Overall, All Seeing Eyes, by the way, All Seeing Eyes, although it procs on the late game, All Seeing Eyes won't hit frontrunners. The main recipient of stamina debuffers is going to be like late surgers and enclosures. Late surgers, enclosures, and sometimes pace issues. So yeah. I don't think Murmur is going to be that consistent. I think at most you can expect like 2 debuffers per lobby, but more than that is a little bit overkill, and you're kind of overperping for stamina, right? Oh, and one more tip is that you can put Highlander on late surger Nice Nature debuffers to increase the chances of Murmur proccing. Anyways, also try to buy Flustered plus Subdued Frontrunner. Alright, for the guaranteed 2% hit, that 2% is going to be your main carry in terms of debuffers, if you're really trying to lean on the debuffer side. All in all, for stamina debuffers, stamina debuffer together strong. Alright, Nice Nature together strong. As long as you and one of your opponents run Nice Nature debuff, the third opponent will die because they are tanking 4% or more stamina debuffs. You bring 2%, your opponent brings 2%. The other guy's frontrunner dies if they don't have the second gold recovery, or if they don't proc a second gold recovery. That's the idea behind stamina debuffers this time around. But again, Murmur proc rate is quite low, so that's going to be an issue. Moving on to speed debuffers. Speed debuffers this time around, I think, is going to be the better option. You can also still run like 2% stamina debuff on a speed debuffer, but again, overall speed debuffer, the effect is just more consistent, alright? So TLDR of Dominator is that a 1 Dominator plus 1 Hesitant any strategy is always going to be 1.1 Bashin length. So you're gaining 1.1 on your ace. I think one cheesy strategy that you can do if you're not running Frontrunner for this CM is that you outright just run double Dom, and then you run like a End Closer Laser Pace Chaser of your liking, right? You're not running Frontrunner. You're just getting 2.2 Bashin for free out of nowhere. Alright, so on to hybrid. Because I've seen discussion about hybrid aces on, for example, Minor Top Gun. So the idea is to run like an End Closer Late Surger, run Mystifying Murmur, and also buy like a kit, right? So the idea was like Smaru, Nice Nature, and Maya, right? So here is 2 Maya enjoyers. So this is Koyu, and this is Alice. These 2 are like the #1 Mayano fans. All they do is play Mayano Top Gun. And so Alice, she has said that how can win ever with 360 skill points spent on stamina debuffer? I think hybrids in UMAMUSUME aren't ever going to work. In Taiwanese server, we also had this argument, and then ultimately stamina debuffs in the CM, I remember very clearly, just proved to be nothing. So not stamina debuffs, I mean hybrid debuffers / aces just didn't work at all. In UMA, you really just want to dedicate your build to a certain object. So if a certain style. If you're running ace, you all in on ace and you try to make her win as often as possible. If you're a debuffer, all in on debuffer and just make her a dedicated debuffer, right? So now we're going to go on to talking about the frontrunner theory, right? So this time around, frontrunner, groundwork as always is going to be mandatory. If you don't have groundwork, you're not playing front. If you don't have groundwork, if your ace doesn't have groundwork, it's just good. So I'd rather you put a medium A ace with shittier stats that has groundwork set than put a 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200, 1200 ace without groundwork. I mean, that's a little bit overkill, but like, just don't play fronts without groundwork, please. That's it. Since there's Summer Maruzenski this time around, right? Summer Maruzenski's unique skill is going to be strong because she has like middle game skill for 5 seconds, like 12 seconds, 11 seconds on this course, right? 11 seconds middle game unique skill that has a 0.35 effect. And so Summer Maruzenski, she's just being put on a spotlight, right? Under a spotlight. But I think most other aces, other frontrunners, are actually also usable. So for example, Mihono Bourbon, Saiyan Sky, Mano Top Gun, even Dawa Scarlet, I think has a shot as long as you build them with 1 gold recovery skill. You really can't get the 2nd gold recovery skill because there is no Restless, right? The source for Restless is going to be from Ines Fujin. And so you just can't get your 2nd gold recovery skill. And also there isn't a point in getting a 2nd gold recovery skill because with 1 gold, 850 stamina, you should still tank 4% debuffs. And with less skill points devoted to stamina recovery skills, you're going to be able to get more middle game skills in. For example, here I have 2 gold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 middle game skills. 2 gold, so 7 middle game skills, right? 7 middle game skills is going to be able to outrod a lot of Maruzenskis, even with their unique skill on. I'm going to personally run a Saiyan Sky that is going to run 1 gold recovery skill. Sure, there is a risk, but we kind of solved that problem. I'm gonna explain it later on. We kind of solved that problem in terms of what if I die as a frontrunner with fraud, right? We kind of solved that problem. So yeah, I think that frontrunners with 1 gold recovery skill is still fine as long as you have at least 850. Try to push wit and power as much as possible. Wit is going to be higher priority. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Second page of frontrunner theory, whatever. Summer Maruzenski this time around, we have what, like 3 weeks to train. We had 3 weeks to train. This guide is going to come out like a week before the race actually starts. Summer Maruzenski, since you need sparks for it, she needs 3 greens plus groundwork to get like the full groundwork set. She doesn't have any innate skills. I think there is going to be a time gate in terms of like Summer Maruzenski, although she might be strong with her unique skill, she does need to farm everything else. And for a lot of the players, this is kind of difficult for them. So time is tight, and her strength is going to be determined by how optimal the global servers or the global player base can play. Judging from what we saw back in Cancer Cup, like the meta wasn't that front heavy. Sure, the meta was definitely front runners, but there wasn't enough players that were playing front. Seriously, there weren't enough players that had good, well-built front runners. And so I think the same situation is going to apply for Leo Cup and also the CMs onward, is that if you prep properly, right? If you prep properly and if you're able to get groundwork, if you're willing to play front runners, if you're willing to devote the time, you'll be able to win, you'll be able to be strong. But generally speaking, the entire server, the front runners is going to be on the weaker side. That's going to be my summary of Cancer Cup and my assumption of the strength of front runners onwards. The accelerated schedule is actually doing some damage, and well, you can't really blame the player base. The accelerated schedule is like that, so you know, it is what it is, right? E will E. But anyways, so average strength of Summer Marzensky elevates the strength of all other fronts. Yes, the strength of Summer Marzensky is going to elevate the strength of all other fronts because that the pace of the lobby is going to be faster. So the stronger the average strength of Summer Marzensky, or like the average strength of frontrunners, the faster the lobbies are going to be. So if everyone is running a Summer Marzensky with groundwork set and at least 4 mill game skills, then the pace is going to be that line. And then if everybody is at least running like groundwork set plus 8 mill game skills, then the pace is all of a sudden much faster, and late surgers and enclosers need to commit a lot more resources to catch up. And so here the summary is that pace chasers are going to benefit from Summer Marzensky being strong, or like frontrunners being strong in the CM. The faster the fronts, the faster the paces, because paces will activate pace up mode, and they'll pace chase the frontrunners, right? But then if there is too many frontrunners in the lobby, paces will outright die because they will lose their acceleration spots and they'll be squeezed to 6th place and behind. Right now, this seems to only be occurring in like VF room matches, some VF room matches, or like the, you know, just the sweatier room matches, right? Overall, I think if the server is more backwards oriented, I think pace chasers have a pretty good shot, and pace chasers are going to play pretty comfortably. As long as you don't run frontrunner, you are not part of the problem of frontrunners, and so your opponent your opponent can at most slam like 4, right? They're going to be running 2 fronts plus 1 debuffer. That's the most you can probably see. Surely nobody runs triple front, right? Surely. Anyways, moving on to pace chaser theory. For pace chasers this time around, their biggest advantage is being able to run double gold recovery skill, plus just having like the pace chaser. Being a pace chaser, yes. Pace chaser this time around, again, I said it before just now, can pace chase the frontrunners. So dumb, dude. It's just pace up mode. If you dumb it down, it's basically like pace chaser. Pace chasing. Yeah, shut up. Okay, whatever. You run redshift, shooting for victory, and then you slam power plus wit, right? I think there's no power can be a little bit lowered here. Power sure is going to be strong, but wit also needed because more middle game, more chances of proccing a middle game is going to be better, and also higher chance of winning the dice roll on pace up mode. So wit stat is good for a pace chaser. I think is also you can run something like Daiwa Scarlet Wit, Machikane Fukukitaru Wit for guaranteed right-handed. those cards are going to be good, right? Or Agonist Tachyon with SR is also going to be good. Yeah, that's going to be my take. Just run double gold recovery and try to push as far forward as possible. Try to stick to fronts like blue. I'll probably be playing a video of page chasers trying to stick to front runners from like the third corner onwards right now on screen. And so yeah, this is going to be the core idea of page chasers this time around in Hanshin 2200. So the strongest character for page chasers is going to be middle game heavy characters like Agonist Tachyon, or I think the strongest character is going to be Ogre. So Ogre Cap this time has Triumphant Pulse, unique skill, very, very strong. She has innate Gourmand. You can just run stat sticks and try to get as many middle game skill as possible. And then you just try to stick to them, proc both acceleration skills, and then by the end, you overtake on the last 200 meters on the uphill, right? That's going to be the idea for pace chases. On to late surgers. Late surgers, the meta for late surgers is looking really weird because they have a middle game issue. With the lead of frontrunners, if frontrunners exist enough, so the lead of frontrunners are going to be pulled, like, they're going to pull a very large lead, and so pace chasers are going to chase them. But late surgers and enclosers, they won't actively try to chase them. A lot of people also have this misconception of that. Late surger, if you buy too many middle game skills, you'll get PDM'd. You get pace down mode. So, for example, you're going to get pushed back to where you belong. But I think that's a wrong idea. This time, it really just depends on if you can get into the acceleration zone, or like if you're able to get into the acceleration spots, positions. So first place to sixth place, right? You've got Iron, Redshift, you got Shooting for Victory. You really want a lot of middle game on your late surger, because if your opponent's frontrunner is farming for all 3 greens and groundwork and all the stats and wit stat and power stat and stamina stat and speed and middle game skill, the least you can do is respect them and give a little bit more effort into farming for middle game skills from, say, Asian Flash, Agonist Tachyon, and try to move up, right? There is a lot of available skills. There is Tachyon Wit, there's Asian Flash Speed. Come on. It's possible to farm a lot of middle game skills on late surger. So don't let them run away so far, alright? Do not let them run away. Try to push as far forward as possible. Even if you land on 5th place, 4th place, 3rd place, you still have Shooting for Victory and Redshift, right? Before I talk about Highlander, just wanna give a quick shout out to Major Ryan. Major Ryan has proven to be really, really good in global server, because in CM3, I ran Major Ryan Ace, and I ran her very mid-game heavy. My opponents, most of the time, didn't pay much attention to middle game skills. So what came? So my Major Ryan was able to hit 6 and pump iron much more often than what I would have expected. So this time around, I'm going to rank Major Ryan quite high, actually, because she has Swinging Maestro. If she has Swinging Maestro, she has 1 gold recovery. You give her like enough stamina. Although she might risk dying to like debuffers, I think if you really don't want to play fronts, running a middle game heavy Ryan is going to show much better results. It's going to actually show pretty good results. So yeah, the idea is still just to run Redshift, Shooting for Victory, Iron, try to get as much. Endgame speed skills is going to be good. Emperor's Might, Triumphant Pulse, these are going to be good skills. And yeah, speaking of Highlander, the idea for Highlander is that, I'm going to pull up this, I'm going to pull up here, right? The idea for Highlander is that this time around, since Highlander procs the first moment you step into an uphill, it's going to proc right here. So this is the first time that you cross this uphill, right? And then when we go back here, we go to the home stretch, we go second time. But we're focusing on the first time right here. And so the second we come into contact, the first time we come into contact with this uphill, we're going to proc Highlander. And so what this is going to do for late surges and end closes only, all right? This is only for late surges and end closes only, is that we are going to get an acceleration, right? It's an acceleration skill, duh, right? Charles, why are you speaking the obvious? But then we go on the uphill, carrying the acceleration, and since the late surgers and end closers will have a lower target speed in the early game than in the middle game, so the second they go onto this uphill, their target speed is lowered, right? Their target speed is lowered because it's an uphill, it's a slope. So the second they enter the middle game part with the acceleration on them, and then they exit this part, they're going to have acceleration carrying on them. They're going to have acceleration effect, and since their target speed is now much higher in the middle game than the early game, they are going to speed up. This skill is actually going to activate like as a speed skill. It's going to feel like a speed skill, but it's actually an acceleration skill. There has been a lot of room match cases where, for example, a late surger has groundwork plus Highlander, and they just buy 2 green skills, activate 2 green skills at the start. They get to here, they proc Highlander plus groundwork, and then push very far up. Obviously, VF lobbies, or like my lobbies in my stream, is going to be faster paced. So this case might not hold true for round 1 lobbies, but I think that round 2 lobbies with more frontrunners is going to be, this is going to be more significant. So if you're a late surger player, running Highlander, or in some cases even Highlander plus groundwork, is going to be beneficial for you, alright? And then if you get pace down mode, if your Uma all of a sudden for some reason suddenly gets pushed back like 20 lengths or something, not 20 lengths, like it suddenly gets pushed back. If you visually see them suddenly slow down all of a sudden when they're like trying to move up, you're getting pace down mode. So your Uma basically overstepped into pace chaser territory, and the system is telling your Uma to get back to where she belongs, right? If you get pace down mode, you blame your lobby for being too slow. It's never your fault. More middle game will always be equal to more consistency overall, and me being a late surger player, both in JP and in JP, I guess, is I really believe in middle game for late surgers, because late surger accelerations is always going to be awkward, and you really have to try to push yourself as forward into the pace chaser pack and utilize pace chaser excels as much as possible. And yeah, I've talked about it just now. Good old 6 + 5 + 5. Good old 6 + 5 + 5. Just try to get 2 first, and if possible, try to get all 3, right? I think if you only buy 6, if you proc 6, you're pretty much only going to proc 6. Pace Chaser isn't close enough for you to overtake immediately into proccing 5 early. But, you know, having 6 being like the only insta-proc late surger and closer excel is always going to be good, right? So yeah. End closer is going to be the same story. So it's still middle game spam. It's still it's still middle game. Highlander is still going to work. But for end closers this time, I think that you could, if you really want to, if it's your Oshi, you could just run either pace and dominator, or just run double dominator. I think it's really disgusting because you just have 2 end closers at the back. Whether or not your opponent runs one debuffer or 2 debuffers doesn't matter to you. Either way, if you have 2 end closer debuffs behind your end closer ace, your ace is going to at least, first of all, be 7th place. If you run middle game heavy, you're going to overtake the debuffer, the other player's debuffers, and you're going to be at least 6th place. Even better, you'll be on 5th place or 4th, or even further ahead, right? You just want to get as far ahead as possible. And so I'd say if you really want to, just kill double Dominator. You can get a good amount of wins just by this. Try to push your speed as much as possible. These 3 excels, middle game, yeah, all that, right? Don't underestimate your don't overestimate your lobby. There's no need to overestimate your lobby in global server, I think. Like, people be doom posting about, oh, it's frontrunner meta now, only frontrunners deserve to win. No, it's medium. If it's medium now, debuffers are back on the menu. Everything is possible again. I love UMAMUSUME. I love medium game. UMAMUSUME is medium game, alright? There's more characters that are viable. You can just try your best every single time, alright? It's never over till it's over, alright? Just try your best. So, to reiterate this, for debuffer comps, so basically, for if you're trying to run a debuffer, I think for frontrunners, it's going to be more beneficial for you to run stamina debuff if you're running like a front or pitch chaser comp, right? You want to kill and get rid of other frontrunners. You're trying to work with other players in the lobby to just take down the people with like the least amount of stamina, and yeah, that's going to be the idea. I think running Dominator on frontrunner comps is also going to be good if you really feel like the general meta, especially when you go into like round 1, round 2, if you see that your frontrunner is getting like red particles on them every single run, and you're getting dominated so often, it doesn't feel right, and you can swap to Dominator debuff. If there's not enough stamina debuff in the entire server, run Dominator debuff, because Dominator debuff is always going to be better or be more effective than raw stamina debuffs. Stamina debuffs require a collaborated effort from like the entire server. So yeah, that's the idea. Dominator, if you're a late searcher and closer player, just run Dominator, bro. Just run Dominator. There's no point in trying to kill others. As long as you get into the Excel spot, you just run, you have Dominator, you try to close that length, you close 1.1 lengths per Dominator, and you can quite literally run them down. It's possible. This course isn't as front heavy as you think it is. So, try your best. I think stamina debuff is kind of like a little bit fake. I don't think stamina debuffs are that OP. Unless frontrunner players run it a lot, right? Unless there's a lot of frontrunner players. Anyways, speaking of, remember that I solved Leo Cup video? I'm going to talk about it now, alright? So, for frontrunner comps, among frontrunner comps, I believe that the meta among frontrunner comps is going to be solved. And this is based off of the assumption that players are of similar caliber, similar level, and that the players are playing optimally. So this is the solved comp for frontrunners. Let me just quickly explain this theory, alright? Let me just quickly explain this theory. First of all, a very simple idea. Sama Morozensky with, we're assuming everybody has 1200 speed, 850 stamina, 700 power, 350, 600. 600 wit, right? Frontrunners. A little bit more wit. It's fine. So, Sama Morozensky with only 1 gold recovery, Swinging Maestro, and a lot more middle game skills with an extra 300 skill points onto middle game skills instead of recovery skills, is going to beat Sama Morozensky with 2 gold recovery skills. Because, well, she has 360 extra skill points to middle game, right? This is a very significant amount of middle game skills, and so there is a consistency. This is a counter. This is a direct counter to double gold recovery skill Sama Morozensky. We're just going to talk about Sama Morozensky right here, right? Now, Nice Nature with 4% stamina debuff. If the frontrunner players are running a strong enough stamina debuff, they are going to kill Sama Morozensky with only 1 gold recovery skill and 850 stamina, because she got hit with more than 4%, right? If she gets hit by more than 4%, so if 5% stamina debuff, then she dies. She will slow down because she doesn't have enough stamina and she won't make it to the finish line. However, she's only slowing down. She's not completely, she's not giving away the rod position. So she is still going to be a counter towards 2 gold recovery skills Summer Morozensky. If they have, like, assuming that both of them have groundwork, everything, right? You get the point, you get the point. This is still going to win against this because she is hogging up the rod slot. She is not giving away the first place position. She's not dying fast enough. So, 1 gold recovery, 850 stamina Summer Morozensky is going to kill any comp that runs 2 gold recovery skill Summer Morozensky plus a nice nature with stamina debuff, despite this thing dying. Even though this thing dies, this thing also dies. So nobody's winning here. These two cancel out each other. And so, yeah, these two will kill each other. And so now we can come to the conclusion that as long as we run 1 gold recovery skill Summer Morozensky plus a nice nature debuff, we can kill anybody that's also running 1 gold recovery skill plus Summer Morozensky, and we can also kill Summer Morozensky's with 2 gold recovery skills and nice nature debuff. We might die, but our third player, our third Uma, is going to come in clutch. Allow me to introduce Ogre Cap. So Ogre Cap, in this case, is going to survive any amount of bombardment from your opponent. So if your opponent is running a frontrunner comp and they have stamina debuff, your Ogre Cap is going to come in and win with and take over the lobby with Summer Morozensky now dying, because both Summer Morozensky's are just not doing anything at this point. They aren't. Your Summer Morozensky is dead. Your Ogre Cap is now pushing forward, tanking all of the stamina debuffs and clutching up for you. So this is the idea among like frontrunner. This is the idea among like frontrunner meta. Among like in itself, this is solved. There is no other way that you can get out of this meta. Actually, if you really try to think about it, there is no counter to this. There is no counter to this. You can win against this comp. You can win against a Summer Morozensky if you run double Dom backline. But that's not among frontrunners. That's a more riskier, more inconsistent comp. But if you run, if you are planning on running frontrunners, if you run 1 gold recovery skill and middle game heavy, you're almost always going to win against 2 gold recovery skills. And so the only way you get defeated is that you get outrotted, right? So your opponent must be running 1 gold recovery skill Summer Morozensky, unless your deck is like really, really weak, weaker than your opponent's Summer Morozensky, right? Your opponent shouldn't have 600 skill points more than you to buy like double gold recovery skill plus more middle game skill or equal middle game skill than you. Don't let that happen, please. Anyways, yeah, so this comp cancels out any equals, and also should win, if not deny the wins from double gold recovery skill Summer Morozensky's. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but that's essentially how this comp is going to work. And that's my take on the frontrunner comp. This is the most optimal frontrunner comp. And yeah, the idea is to just do this. Hopefully that your opponent also plays optimally and run at least a stamina debuffer if they are running a frontrunner. And hope for the best, right? You can also kind of run Dominator, but at that point, you are kind of banking on your Ogre to win more than your Summer Morozensky to win more. It's up for you to interpret, like, however you interpret this, right? It's up to you. There are different opinions, there are different takes, everybody is building differently. So this is going to be my take, that's it. That's going to be the part that I talked about in the I solved Leo Cup video, right? So finally, I'm going to give you guys some ideas for team comps. This is double front plus 1 debuffer. I am probably going to be running a double front plus 1 debuffer. It's probably going to be, say, Nice Nature or Grass Wanderer or like Dominator or something, right? Double front plus debuffer maximizes the chances of you hitting Rod, and then the last one will be a Dominator to hold off the other Doms. So double front is also a viable comp if you're very confident in your UMA to hit Rod very often. So we are talking like you be better than 90% of the lobbies and hitting Rod more than 90% of the time in the actual race. All right, we need you to be very, very consistent. There is ISOF Leo Cup, right? And then this comp in theory is going to beat like other front comps. Sure, this is not playing optimally, by the way. This is not playing optimally, but this is just if you're really confident in yourself and that the lobby isn't going to be have enough stamina debuffs to kill you. But this comp should beat and should have like a very high consistency if your aces are strong enough, right? This comp is going to be my take on the meta. And it loses to Dominator spam and late surger and closer players, right? This is going to probably be the only way you lose. You can try to comp out. It's not that it's that expensive to build anyways, right? Summer Marzensky is going to be the one that a lot of players are going to be building already. If you have time, if you have the borrows, you can give it a shot, yeah? If you can give it a shot. But this requires a decent amount of support card deck. You probably will need to build it quite strong. But yeah, another comp, Taurus comp. Just literally just run Taurus, right? Just reuse Taurus. It costs nothing. It costs close to nothing. You can slam like a Dominator or stamina debuffs, whatever suits you. If you think the lobbies are more stamina debuff heavy, you can run stamina debuffs and join in on the fun. If you feel like there isn't enough stamina debuffs, you can run Dominators, basically. Yeah. Both works for them. You can try out whatever works for you. Yeah. And finally, for those out there, non-frontrunner aces, honestly, it's possible. You can just run whatever character plus double Dominator. Your acceleration is probably still going to be there. You just need to overtake one person. You just need to overtake one person. Even if you're end closer, you just need to overtake one of your opponent's debuffs. And then you're in like an acceleration. You're in like the spots where they do have acceleration. First place to sixth place. So that's going to be your win con. Just double dom and try your best, right? Just be faster than your opponent. Lamau. And also running one ace or, you know, running Oshi for people is going to be fun as well. So you can screw people over like that. Yeah. Overall, here is going to be the UMA tier list for the CM. This is going to be, I think that Ogre and also Summer Marzensky deserve the spot on the OP category. I think both of them will be ineligible for the Oshi PP win rate role. All right, in VF Chord, if you have a higher than 80% win rate or 70% for Oshi players, you will be able to get a special role for yourself. But for this CM, the two banned characters, or like the two characters that are ineligible, is going to be Ogre and Summer Marzensky. The reasons I've talked about just now, this one has 2 gold recovery. This one has strong mill game, actually. This one has very strong mill game. This one has Triumphant Pulse. Triumphant Pulse is kind of stupid this time. And yeah, Ogre has also really insane stat lines and power bonus, and also was like Gorman, right? Yeah, Ogre is Ogre. Man, what can I say? Mamba out. Anyways, Saiyan Sky. So this is going to be the tier for favorable for consistency, right? So I think Saiyan Sky, Agnes Tachyon, Summer Special Week, and also Togateo is going to be favorable for consistency. Maybe even Major Ryan should be put up on that list too. So these 4 or these 5 characters are going to be quite consistent this time. And since I don't think frontrunners are going to be that strong in this server, so I think it's very possible that these 4 will just still pop off and bring you very good results, right? These Spechan should be run as late surger, not end closer. Do note that. Like, Spechan, late surger is just going to be better. You want to squeeze yourself in front as much as possible. End closer is kind of iffy. I've seen end closer space getting stuck on 7th place and never proccing their unique skill. It's so sad. End closer space is weird. If you want to run Spechan, just run late surger. Tokateo, late surger and Pace Chaser is winnable. Because Tokateo has Miraculous Step, I think that skill allows for Tokateo to go on late surger and proc her unique skill easier. You can ask yourself, if you're a Tokateo Red Tail player, if you value the emotional value that proccing Tokateo unique brings you, or if you value winning more consistently, right? I think Pace Teo is going to be slightly more consistent, but late Teo procs unique skill more. See if you like the BGM or not, right? Alright, Midge Orion, very, very strong, I think. Instant proc 6th place is always going to be good. She's always going to be up there. There's no reason for her to be that weak aside from the stamina issue, but late surgers this time around. It depends on how many frontrunner players are going to exist, right? It really depends on how many frontrunner players are going to be running Mystifying Murmur. And for Doto, I think late surger is also still going to be better for her. Alright. Pace Chaser, I see the possibility in Pace Chaser. If you run Pace Chaser very heavy mill game and creep up to the second weakest, or like the frontrunner pack in the frontrunner lobby, you can just overtake them. Or if you're running a Meisho Doto, you can run Chariot Meisho Doto if there aren't enough frontrunners for you to overtake. Overall, Meisho Doto needs to be 3rd place after she completes the overtake, I think. So she has to overtake into 3rd. So 4th to 3rd place, you need at least 3 people in front of you. That's going to be an issue. Just try to solve it if you're a Meisho Doto player. Bourbon, very, very strong. I've seen Koyu play Bourbon. Koyu's Bourbon with Redshift, because Bourbon has her unique skill and also has frontrunner corners and straights innate built in. So unique skill on Bourbon is going to let her actually just contest even rotted Summer Marzenskis, and in some cases even rotted Saiyan Skies. Like, Bourbon with her unique skill at the home stretch is going to be very, very strong. It's a 0.45, there's nothing to scoff at. So yeah, Bourbon, don't underestimate the Clanker. I think Clanker is quite good if you buy Redshift on her. So Redshift and also Rod. Redshift and Rod, and Bourbon unique is going to win you some of the races. And also her stat lines are just going to be it's going to look good, alright? She has 20% stam, 10% power. She's going to be good overall. Taiki, good. Taiki and Maru, these 2 Pace Chasers are still going to be there because they have a delayed 83-meter excel. Running Pace Chaser means that they have double gold recovery. This is like Taurus. This is like Taurus Taiki, basically. And then Gold Chip. And then Gold Chip loses 1 gold recovery and only has 1. But yeah, if you're lazy, just go Gold Chip. It's fine, honestly. Gold Chip plus Dominator and Closer, that's how it works. I'm not going to go too deep onto the Umas below. Oh, but I guess I could quickly talk about this character that you may have wondered, why is Daiwa Scarlet there? Why is Daiwa Scarlet in the debuffer category? Because people in VF Cord have engineered a Daiwa Scarlet blocker. Yes. And since Daiwa Scarlet with high power and higher wit and groundwork set as well is going to stay at 1st place again. Stay at 1st place, the idea is that she stays at 1st place, and the exact frame Summer Marzenski is going to proc unique seal at 50%. Daiwa Scarlet is also going to proc unique seal at the opposite side, at like the backstretch at 50%. So those two will actually Daiwa Scarlet will speed up at the exact same time as some Marzenski will speed up, and so it will be a complete block. It's like because some Marzenski will all obviously speed up and try to catch up to Daiwa, so it triggers Daiwa unique, and so they become like they just block each other. They actually just move laterally. They block each other. It's actually an insane sight to see. If you really want to, you can give it a shot, I think. Otherwise, like these are just the debuffers or like dominators and whatnot, right? Debuffers, stamina debuffers, mystifying murmurs, all that. I can talk about this later, I guess. Small Falcon. If you buy concentration, you yoink the rod early on. Not yoink rod, you yoink the first place early on, and then you try to hold first. You just corner skills and buy maybe Marzenski unique as well. You try to hold first. You should be able to just secure rod. Whether or not you win or whether or not you have enough speed is a different question. That's left for you to answer if you're a Falcon player. But yeah, Falcon is going to be performing pretty well, I would say. And then Maya. Two Mayas are going to perform decently as well. I think both of them are going to be running 1 gold recovery variants. They're not going to have 2 gold recoveries. Haste Chaser and Frontrunner is going to both work fine for this time. But Maya, Wedding Maya, Late Surger is going to be pretty good. And Closer Late Surger is going to be pretty good. Just don't buy Mystifying Murmur. I don't think Mystifying Murmur deserves to be on Maya no Top Gun. She functions fine as like End Closer. Brian and Late Surger, very, very strong. I have seen the power of Brian multiple times during my room matches. And yeah, Brian and Rice Shower have both won and taken races off of me. So don't underestimate them, please. They have a shot at winning. They're pretty strong. This time around, Dominator and Late Surgers are a really good match, and you should respect them. Fuji, Pace Chaser, I think unique skill is going to proc this time, but overall the consistency isn't that great. And for every other character here on the list, I'm not going to go too deep into them, alright? This is going to be it for now for the CM4. A little bit of a plug here. I'm going to... So in VF, we actually now have VF ranked room matches, right? We now have ranked room matches. So in these room matches, you can, join the queue, and so it will assign you opponents based off of your MMR. It will not, it's not based off of, it's not a random matchmaking, it's based off of your MMR. So you can match in, you can join queue, and you can, increase, you can play ranked in UMAMUSUME now. Yeah. Thank you, Saya, for making this happen. It is actually an insane thing. We got ranked in UMAMUSUME before GTA 6, guys. So yeah, for those of you who are interested, go have fun, go ham. I have had a blast playing this, and so yeah, that's going to be it. So all in all, thank y'all for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Comment for engagement if you enjoyed it. If you're a VF Cord member, throw in a copy pasta or whatever, I don't know. I'll see you guys in AOHARU High, alright? I'll see you guys in AOHARU High. This has been a little bit of a late video, I know. But I'm glad I got this out. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And so yeah, that's going to be it. So all in all, thank y'all for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Comment for engagement if you enjoyed it. If you're a VF Cord member, throw in a copy pasta or whatever, I don't know. I'll see you guys in AOHARU High, alright? I'll see you guys in AOHARU High. This has been a little bit of a late video, I know. But I'm glad I got this out. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.